All right, might as well switch this on for a little bit. If you're actually here viewing, as the title says, this is not a real stream. I've got nothing planned for it, but I've been having a ton of issues lately with my streaming setup, not playing nice, and streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. So I'm just gonna run it for a bit. Maybe I'll boot up a game. Hey, Bell, how's it going? So, like I said, this is not a real stream. I don't expect anyone to have to stick around, but I figured I should let it run for a bit so I can see if it has any other issues. So I'm gonna do that. My main stream already ended over on YouTube a few minutes ago, so I'm not expecting much of anyone to to drop in here, nor should they. But if you're here, hi. Feel free to just chill with me for a brief while. Okay. I'm doing all right, Belle. I'm doing okay. Was losing my brain a little bit earlier because the live stream was not really working correctly. So that's why I had to cancel earlier my Twitch live stream and switch over only to YouTube in order to get things to work properly. So now what I'm doing is I'm setting all of it up and I'm running a bunch of tests to see if it's having any glitches or it's switching or doing anything strange on either platform. So, but I'm okay. I'm doing all right. Probably just gonna hang out here for probably maybe like 15, 20 minutes. Like I said, this isn't like a proper stream, but again, if you want to hang out, you're more than welcome to. Hey, if you got nothing better to do at the moment, I got no beef with that. Just a little random hang session from my perspective. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Let me try to find something to play for a little bit. Like I said, this is not a gaming stream. I'm not going to be playing anything specific, but might boot up one of my own games to play for a little bit just because. Well, cool. Well, hey, I'm glad you enjoy the live streams. Don't mind hanging out for a little bit. Again, you're more than welcome to it. Definitely doesn't make me uncomfortable at all. So I don't mind if you want to chill for a little bit. It's kind of like reminds me of back in the day when I used to do a lot of theater. Because then there were times when you'd be like, you'd be at a local theater and you'd be working on the sets or rehearsing, and sometimes you'd, like, bring someone along just to hang out, like a friend or an acquaintance, or someone else would bring someone, and they just sit down, and they just get to see the behind the scenes kinda side of things, so this is kinda how this feels. It reminds me of that when random people would drop in for a rehearsal unexpectedly. So which is always, yeah, it's just kind of a laid back vibe because 'cause you're not in entertainment mode yet, so 'cause for context, because I know there's, a lot of people who have joined the community, more recently. Because I used to do a lot of, live theater was a big thing growing up when I was a teenager and through my early 20s. I used to do theater shows, like, all the time. I did like 25 different productions or something ridiculous in that amount of years, so, it's one of the reasons why I switched over to voice acting was just because I wanted something else to be able to occupy my time a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Okay. It seems to be working better now, so and you'll just have to just don't mind me half talking to myself here, like, I'm kinda just talking out loud, which is, to be fair, it's what I usually kinda do. There's, like, a lot of outtakes of me when I'm recording audios or regular gaming videos, not live stream ones, where I'm just, there's, like, preambles of me talking to myself in my office, just mulling through whatever I'm working on at the time, so this kinda feels like that. Um, I like the idea of voice acting, I think, what the heck would I do? Hey, voice acting, the kind of fun thing about it is it's, like, probably the most it's gotta be probably the most accessible form of acting that you can do, you know what I mean? Like, voice acting's fun in the sense that you can totally just drop into it with no pressure, no real expectation, and just see if you like it, you know? And sometimes it's fun if you're not sure if you're comfortable being on camera or on stage or something, to act in a format where you just get to try to dip into another character just with your voice, so it's fun that way. Um, and then writing's another one too, where again, there's, like, no reason not to do it every now and then, because if you like writing and you want to, then, you know, the more you do it, you kind of inherently just get more tuned into it, more comfortable doing it, and that's the fun of it. Okay, let's see. So I'm looking through my game options because I want to play a game for a little bit just to see if that affects the quality of the live stream, and then I can review it later and see if it was glitching at all, see if the live stream, this one, test one here, had any, like, visual issues or anything like that, so but I can't play anything too exciting because people would be mad at me for not doing it during a planned live stream. Let's see. Alright, let me see. Oh, maybe I could play here's a real chill game I could play. Let me get it up on the screen, and I'll play it for a few minutes. I'm gonna pull up this, like, little puzzle game that I play sometimes when I need to, like, de-stress and not think about anything else. Okay, let me see. Now I have to log in again, though. Hold on a second. Hold on, I gotta log into my Steam account. Oh, I can hear but you can probably hear it on the audio, even though the visual's not up yet, like the little bird sounds. Okay, sign in. There we go. Okay. Sign in again. Okay, there it goes. Okay, it should work. Let me try it. Alright, let me swap it over to my game profile just for the heck of it. Boy Wally, welcome. First time in the chat, spamming the emotes, fine by me. If there's any stream for shenanigans, this might be it. Alright, let's go ahead and try, yeah, there it goes. Anyway, this is like a really goofy little chill game where you're just trying to, actually, I'm gonna hook up my controller to it, actually, while I'm thinking about it, because I'm more used to playing it that way. Press mouse button to the left to move the camera. That's right. It's gonna make me go through the tutorial again, because I haven't played this in forever. Okay. Rotate the camera, Q and E keys. Hovering over the background, scroll wheel to zoom in and out. That's fine. Oh yeah, so in this game, though, you use tiles to build little landscapes. And the idea is to make all the sides of the landscapes, as much as you can, try to make them match the right terrain, because you get bonus points for it. The more points you get, the longer you can keep building and not run out of tiles. If you run out of tiles, the game's over. But again, it's a really chill game, so it's kind of nice that you can play it, and losing doesn't really feel like losing because you just run out of tiles and you can try again later. So I like to play this when I'm feeling anxious. So I figure this is a good one for a little bit. Hey, Katie, how's it going? Welcome to the fake live stream, the one that's not a real live stream, but I figured while I'm testing settings so I can see if it actually is working or not, I figured I might as well let people visit for a little bit. So feel free to hang out. I don't know how long I'm going to do this, probably only just a few minutes. But you're welcome to be here while you do. I was chatting with Belle here, saying that this reminds me of back in the day I used to do theater a lot, and this is kind of like when someone would come to visit the theater who wasn't in the cast for like a rehearsal. And it wasn't like a negative. It was just like, oh, okay, hey, someone's friend's here to hang out for the day. So they're just going to enjoy the behind-the-scenes view, and nothing's really ready, nothing's polished, but it's fine. So yeah, so relax, take a load off. Just playing my little puzzle game. I'm going to do that for a little while, and then double-check and look at all the footage back, the recording of it, to see if it screwed anything up or if I finally figured out settings that work. It seems like the problem was just that Twitch hates high-quality video. Like, I'm used to streaming in the past on YouTube, because YouTube you can stream like 4K at 60 frames, and you can stream really high quality over on YouTube, which I like. But Twitch doesn't like that. Twitch, I think it's because they have like a really old kind of system. The way their streaming setup is developed. They have very, very little bandwidth. So because of that, you need to go through and you need to tune your settings way down, even if it affects the visual quality, which I don't like. I like things to be very pristine, but you kind of have to do it. Otherwise, Twitch is going to screw it all up. Because if Twitch starts screwing it up, then it screws up the streaming software, which in turn fucks up the YouTube one. So YouTube actually lately was not the reason I was having issues. It was because of the fact that that Twitch was not receiving the information correctly, and it was bouncing all around. So that's why it's screwed up. So apparently this works, though the quality's not going to be as high as I wish it was visually, but I'm also more nitpicky about that than most people. Like, if you wonder, like, who are the people who pay for the highest tier of Netflix for the 4K and all that kind of stuff? That's me. I'm that person in the world. So, and also, yeah, you can see a little bit more about how this game works, though. So yeah, you try to match up tiles of the same type and connect them together to get bonus points, and that unlocks more tiles to be able to keep playing longer. And the goal is to try to make as wide of a map as you possibly can without running out of tiles, which can get tricky towards the end. So, let's drop a tile. Hold on. You do this one, and you want to get if you can get all 6 sides working together on the tiles, then it's like, you get like a bonus where you get extra tiles to keep playing with. Also, for those of you who are here for this fake stream, it's not a real stream. For anyone who wants to answer, can you, is my voice noisy? Meaning, like, can you hear like a fan running in the background? I have my fan running, but I'm curious for future streams if maybe I can leave that on and it won't be too obtrusive. Or when I talk, can you hear like a really loud noise running in the background? Let me know. You guys can be part of my little unplanned, unintended test subject. Oh, this little tab will almost work. You don't hear the fan? Well, that's good. I have like my stuff set up so it should be filtering out most background noise, but I figured I should ask and see. Because some of the streams I want to go longer, but it gets in my office, the way my house is laid out. My house is really old. It was built in like the 50s, I think. So, I moved here quite a few years ago because I got a good deal on the rent. But one of the trade-offs is that for whatever reason, the way the house is laid out is my office gets like no air circulation. It's like my office is in the corner of the building. the way it's laid out. And my house is kind of like it's kind of like just a large rectangle. So the layout of the rooms is kind of they don't flow together very naturally. So because of that, my corner where my office is and where I record gets really boiling hot. So if in the future I can run my fan and not have it be super loud, that'd be great. So that's good. So not hearing any fan noise in the background, you can still hear me like decently well. All right, well that's good to know. All right, that's good. We got between Twitch and YouTube, because now it does seem to be working for whatever reason. It looks like we've got 3 people saying they can't hear the fan. So that's good. That's really helpful. It's helpful intel. So thank you. Thanks for being part of the test. That wasn't what I planned this test to be for, but it is useful info. Okay, hold on. I can drop this one on all 5 sides. And that'll actually give me quite a few points. This one, need a forest on this side. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Because these 2 houses will connect, and the little gold or whatever, these little mining tile ones will connect. So, there we go. Okay. But it's fun because the larger you build, sometimes you'll unlock little special areas and cities, and you can unlock rivers and stuff like that. It's very, very fun. Oh, sweet. We got spam in the chat. Fuck yeah. Now I'm a real streamer. Got people dropping in, trying to sell me shit. And, hold on, where's the block button? And you've been banned. There we go. I will say, at least, like, I've never had an issue so far of there being any hate on any of my streams. Like, no one's dropped in and said anything bad. But I do still get the spam ones that are like, buy viewers. And that's the one thing I can tell you I'll never do. I'd rather have 10 people, 5 people, 4 people, whatever, streaming or watching whatever I make than I would paying for fake viewers to pretend they like my shit. Like, okay, let's see. Maybe, oh, there's 2 houses could connect on this corner, maybe. Or I could do a house. Oh, this would work here, actually, kind of nicely. Okay. Then I've got a forest and another house. Maybe that could go maybe over here. Let's see. Let's see, house here. So it's like house on one side, forest, and another house. This actually will fit nicely. That'll give me a few points. Nice, nice. I'm not running out of tiles too quickly. Okay. I need houses all around for this one to work. Or actually, no, I need houses on 2 sides. This is kind of a weird tile. I also love the music in this game. This is another one that like I said, I like to play because I get not as bad anxiety as I used to get. People who followed me years back, a couple years ago, I had a really insane panic disorder. Oh, I just realized I set my phone down after logging in, so my character's not animated. I might as well use it while I have. So there, for anyone who is here, again, this is a bullshit stream anyway, but might as well leave that running. But yeah, I started trying to find games that would help me not feel stressed out, because I was having, like, crippling agoraphobia and panic disorders to the point where I could, I was having trouble driving around the corner to go get a Starbucks or something without feeling like I was going to pass out. So I started trying to find, throughout a bunch of different techniques, I was like, all right, what are games and things that are soothing and calm, that really kind of, they give you something to focus on, which is the biggest thing about anxiety, is that it's this weird trade-off that I've learned from many years of working on it and going from not being able to leave my house to being able to travel again and do more life stuff like I used to back when I wasn't anxious and didn't have a bunch of issues. But realizing that, like, on one side, you don't want to start out trying to ignore your anxiety, because that actually will make it worse, in my experience. Because pretending the anxiety is not there, denying it, makes your subconscious think something's really in danger. It can feel you fighting against the anxiety, which can make it worse. So the alternate to that can be effective is to, like, you acknowledge that you're feeling anxious. You feel like, whatever. I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like I'm having a panic attack. I am having a panic attack, whatever level of anxiety you're at in that moment. And then you have to tell yourself that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel right then, even if the feeling, the sensation, mentally and physically is so horrible that it doesn't actually matter in the long term because you feel bad, but you're not in danger. And discomfort and danger are not the same. Because when you have a panic attack, your brain's telling you you're in danger. Your brain's telling you you're going to die. Your brain's telling you, hey, you're about to have an aneurysm. Some part of you is about to erupt. Your brain's about to switch off. You're about to have a heart attack. You're about to have something absolutely nightmarish. But the problem is if you feed into that by trying to either deny it or feed into it by believing you're going to die, it will make it worse. But if you kind of go through a thing and go, okay, I've had a panic attack before. I've been in this exact space before. And surprise, surprise, I'm still here. Not dead, not having had a heart attack, not having had any of the worst things I imagine actually come to pass. So it's either that this is either the 1 in a million chance that's actually happening, or more than likely, it's just another of those feelings and it'll pass in time. So it's initially a feeling of like you have to embrace it by saying, I'm having a panic attack right now, and my day goes on. It's this weird nonchalance where you're not pretending like you're fine, and that's why if you have like people around you, you can, if they ask you if you're okay, you can say, honestly, I'm feeling really anxious right now. My heart's going so fast, but it's fine. Let's keep going with the day. Let's keep going to the movies. Let's keep going with the dinner you're at, whatever your day looks like, or if you're at home by yourself. Sometimes it can be as simple as going, I'm sitting here watching a movie and I'm anxious. So what I want to do is go run outside or go hide in my bed or close my eyes or go hide in the shower and try to pretend it's not happening. Or I can just slump myself down here right where I am and go, I'm not leaving until my system calms down. My system needs to learn that the anxiety is not dangerous, no matter how uncomfortable it is, because it's uncomfortable. It feels horrible. It's one of the worst sensations possible because it's your brain convincing the rest of your body that something horrible is impending, or vice versa. Sometimes it's like your brain's not even like triggering the anxiety. Your nervous system is triggering it internally, and you get a rush of adrenaline, and then your brain follows suit. I get that a lot more than anything, where sometimes I get anxiety where like my body will just get a flash of adrenaline that'll rush through for whatever reason, and I won't know necessarily. It won't be from one specific thing. Sometimes it's just a buildup of cortisol and stress in my system, not having anywhere to go. And I'll feel that flash of adrenaline through my spine. And my brain, I still have it, because it's like, it's now I'm trained from years of practice and reading and studying anxiety and panic disorders, what to do. But I'll go through and I'll be like, okay, my brain here has control over this. I can't control my body, though. That's a big thing, too. Hold on. I forgot that my ads are still on, even though I meant to switch them off for this one, because this is, again, not a real live stream. I'm just dropping in here just to be able to test things out and see if anything breaks or whatever. So whatever. Hold on. Everyone just hang out with me. If you're on YouTube, just hang out. I don't think I turned off monetization on either side, on Twitch or YouTube, and I meant to do it. I tried to turn those things down to a minimum where possible. And for this one, again, I just forgot because I was just dropping in here to test it. So I think the ad's only going to be on for another, 90 seconds or something, and then I'll continue my anxiety chat for anyone who might find it useful. Meanwhile, where the hell do I put this little forest guy? He doesn't really fit. He doesn't fit anywhere, does he? Let's see. Oh, I could drop it there. And maybe... Oh, this map's already kind of a mess. I usually organize it a little bit better when I'm playing this game. But of course, that's not like that's the point of this one. I'm not really playing to win right now. Alright. Drop it there. Drop this with all the other houses. That'll be better. And then I'll drop one more over here. Funny too, this is one of the few games that has music that I find actually soothing. There's a lot of games that are meant to be cozy games, but the music they play is a little too, like, funky new age, so it kind of feels like I'm in a meeting with a cult. This one actually is like, I love it. Like, it's soft and it's floaty and it's nice without being like, it doesn't feel like I'm in a spa trying to ascend to another plane of existence or something like that. Let's see, what does it say? Flag Drew can be closed again to gain extra tiles and points. Oh, that's right. The flag ones are if you close it off, you get bonus points. That's what's been trying to tell me, and I've been ignoring it forever. Alright, do I have one with just a house on it and not on the other side? Oh, this would work. That one would be okay. Then, where's my biggest collection of houses? It must be over here. I'll drop that in there. There we go. There we go. And now I think the ad should supposed to be over. But anyway, yeah, I'm just talking about, like, my experience with anxiety is like, yeah, it's this thing where, there's a book, it's called, oh, hold on. I'm going to look it up because it's the book that, not to be hyperbolic, but it's, I'd say, really single-handedly reduced my anxiety by a huge amount. I wouldn't say, like, you know, I think can sound like snake oil to be like, this one book healed me, but it's the only book that I read that really, really got to the bottom of what I was feeling and really identified what my agoraphobia was like, what my anxiety was like, what the triggers for it were. Like, it was the kind of book where it felt like it was being written for me because it was so accurate describing all of my experiences. So it made it easy to take the advice in the book because of the fact that it clearly identified it so well. It's called Hope and Help for Your Nerves. It's by a doctor named Claire Weekes, who was an Australian practitioner back in like the 60s. The book is not new. It's very, very old, actually. But yeah, Hope and Help for Your Nerves is what it's called. But she was an actual very dedicated practitioner and clinical doctor, so she was seeing patients regularly throughout her whole life. And she was just very pragmatic. Like, she was very much someone who, at the time when anxiety was either not taken seriously at all back in the 60s when she was writing and studying these things, or the therapies for them were so severe, you know, they were things like shock therapy. So her book is interesting because it's very compassionate without being pandering. It's not for you, it's not woes you. She's very big on being like, you're in command of this, and I'm going to equip you with the tools and the information you need to understand what your body is doing right now, why your anxiety is firing on all cylinders, and what you can do to shift it in the right direction. So, and she has a bunch of different techniques that she walks through because it's very specific too. You can tell it's written by someone who actually worked with people and helped them directly, not just theorized about it, because she gives very practical, step-by-step processes for things to try to do for your situation if your anxiety or agoraphobia is really bad. But like, one of the things I remember she wrote that I still think about was, she said, when you're dealing with anxiety, you have to think of it in two different sections. There's first fear and second fear. And first fear is the concept that your brain first recognizes something feels wrong, you know? You feel anxious, you feel stressed, you feel that flash in your brain. And second fear is, or actually, I screwed it up. I got them backwards. So it's first fear is your body, is when your heart starts racing, flash of adrenaline, sweating, whatever that might look like. It's different for everyone, but usually similar, you know? Usually most anxious people have a similar kind of experience in that way. And then second fear is your brain's response to it. Your brain then goes, if I'm anxious, if I'm sweaty, if I'm all these things, I must be dying. Something must be wrong. I must need to go to the hospital. Something very bad must be happening. And what she talks about is, she's like, when you're in the midst of anxiety, it can feel like those two things are the same. It feels like one response. But she's like, they're two different things, actually. You can't control fear number one, which is your body's response. You have no control over it, and that's often the flaw in most anti-anxiety stuff you see nowadays, is they'll say things like, all you need to do is deep breathing. All you need to do is you need to go hold ice to distract your body. You need to go and do all these things, to be able to to trick your body into it. But you can't, because your body is an animal. It's an animal instinct. It's the primal lizard person inside of you that's freaking out. So you can't reason with your body. You can't reason with your heart going 1,000 miles an hour, if that makes sense. So she says, first fear you have to let go of completely. Oh, hey, we unlocked a new thing. Sweet. But she's like, you have to let go of that entirely. You have to just say, first fear, my body's reaction to it doesn't matter at all. Oh, was that just a tutorial? I think it might have been just a tutorial. I was wondering, I was like, what did I do? I messed it up. No. Oh, no, here they are. Okay. It's just that I haven't played it using this service before, so I thought I was new. But anyway, though, so she talks about the whole first fear response, and then second fear is your brain. And your brain, you do have a say in. You have a decision in your brain on how you react to it, and whether or not you feed into it. But it's like a hostage situation. You don't give it what it wants. You starve it, The fear in your stomach that you feel wants you to leave wherever you are that's uncomfortable. Leave the party, the dinner, the whatever. Wants you to walk outside and all that. And the thing is, if you do that, then you're placating that the feeling was real. You're placating that fear you felt was legitimate, and you need to do that every time, otherwise it's going to get worse. But again, you're in a hostage situation with the animal part of your brain, basically, and that's not a good thing. That can really long-term be a problem. So she says, you need to do the exact opposite and push against it, and going right up to that adrenaline and just basically saying it doesn't matter how high it can get. And she has some really good points that she talks about. Like she says, a lot of times the fear, if you're really, really anxious like I was, like really bad panic, where you feel like you're going to die, you think things like, my heart's going to beat too fast and it's going to trigger a heart attack, or my heart's going to explode because it's going to go up forever. But she talks about, she's like, your body is trying to keep you alive. Your body thinks you're in danger, and that's why it's firing off these fear responses. It's just misguided. Your body's not trying to attack you. Your body is confused, and it has the alarm bell set way too sensitive. So because of that, she makes a good point where she's like, you need to think about, okay, my heart's made to keep me alive. It would make no sense for my fear response, for my heart might be beating fast, but my heart's not going to stop all of a sudden. And she said, she's like, if you doubt me, she's like, check your pulse, test it and see how fast your heartbeat's going. She's like, it might be going 120, 130 beats per minute, even higher than that. But she's like, there are people who go into the hospital and their hearts are over 200 beats per minute and they still survive and they're fine. So if you're well below that, then you're actually convincing yourself you're in danger when you're not. You're in discomfort. So she said, there's all these things that you go through in your brain, these exercises to go, okay, no matter how uncomfortable I am, I don't stop what I'm doing. If I'm watching something, I keep watching it. If I'm, she mentions at one point where if you're sitting reading the morning paper, because her book was written in the 60s when you would sit and read the morning paper. The idea was that, you feel the flash of anxiety and you think, okay, I need to go take a cold shower. I need to go run outside. And she's like, the best thing that you need right now is to act like your arms are made of lead. You just slump into your seat wherever you are and you don't react to it at all physically. And she said the thing about this that's interesting is that rather than you trying to tell your body everything's okay, you're not scared, which is you lying to yourself about what you feel, you're saying, okay, I am scared, I'm uncomfortable, I'm nervous, I hate this feeling, but I'm not going to die. Even if I feel like I'm not going to. I can either sit here and think I'm going to die, or I can tell myself, no, I'm not going to die, but I really don't like the way this feels, but whatever, deal with it. And then that kind of denial, the weird thing is your body then is expecting you to respond to it because it's firing adrenaline through your system. It's firing cortisol and all these adrenaline hormones telling you to book it because it thinks something bad is on the way. And when you don't do that, it interrupts it. It gets confused. It's like you're taking a circuit with pieces of electricity running through it and you're breaking it at the midway point. It doesn't have anywhere else to go after that because you're not moving. You're sitting there dead stock still like a statue. So the adrenaline gets confused. You're the part of your body you can't control, that adrenaline response center of your nervous system, all of a sudden it just starts settling down and going, okay, I'm I'm firing adrenaline every few seconds here, and they're still not moving. If they're not moving, it must not be that bad. Something must not actually be after us. It might be a false alarm. And it's this weird conditioning because, and it's very unpopular to say that's the reason why this kind of technique doesn't like, it works like gangbusters, but no one wants, a lot of people don't want to hear it because it's not a comfortable route. It's a very uncomfortable way to fix a panic disorder, is to say, you need to basically have as many panic attacks on the regular as possible and just avoid them. Or not avoid them, but just do the opposite, not avoid them and embrace the discomfort. Because every time you have a new panic attack, she talks about this. She's like, you got to think about it like it's like you're lifting weights, you know? It's like you're training a muscle to get stronger. If you lift weights and your arms are sore afterwards, it doesn't mean you did a bad workout. It means you did a good workout because you actually took that pressure on without quitting and without running away from it. And that's what panic attacks are like. You lean into them, you say, whatever, if this is the worst you have to give me, it doesn't matter because I'm not actually going to die today. My day goes on. I'm going whatever I was going to do. I'm going to go meet a friend. I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to go for my walk. I'm going to do whatever I had planned is going to continue to be on my schedule no matter how much I feel like shit, even if I have to sit there. And I did. I had months on end where I had to go sit and I go to movie theaters once I figured out to stop avoiding it. And I'd have a panic attack for 90% of the movie. And it was horrible. Don't get me wrong. It was absolutely dreadful at the time. But every single time I went back to go see another movie, it was less intense. It was the weirdest thing, and it almost felt like I didn't expect it to work. Part of me still was very doubtful. I was doing it expecting it to be another technique. So I'd read other books and I'd gone to therapists and they had actually made it worse sometimes by giving me bad advice. But it was a weird thing where I would go, okay, last time I went to the movies, about 60 minutes of the movie, I was panicking and freaking out. And then I went to the next movie and I went, nah, that was still horrible. I was panicking for about 50 minutes out of the movie. And then it was 40 minutes and then it was 20 minutes. And now it's a weird thing where I'm not free of my anxiety completely. I would never pretend that I was. But now sometimes I'll still go out to the theater and my brain still fires up a little like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. But then it's like my brain has done it so many times now that I just kind of go, whatever. I'm not leaving the theater. I'm not going to hide anywhere. I'm just going to lay here and have my popcorn. And then and now it disappears after, 5 minutes and it's gone. And that's the main difference. Is it's not that I removed every bit of anxiousness out of my brain. I just realized I don't need to fight it because it'll fade on its own because I've trained my brain long enough to be non-responsive to it, Which is a big thing they teach you. If you learn like meditation and stuff, they talk about, non-reactivity and how important that is to being aware and in command of your own emotions. Is if you don't respond to them immediately, what you feel, and don't feel like you need to act on them, you actually gain more control over them over time. Which is just good, general, good meditation practice is learning things like non-reactivity. Another thing I'd recommend is learning meditation, but don't learn it. There's transcendental meditation, which I think, the people who do it say it's great, but it's a course you have to pay for, and it's it might be a bit far to say it's a cult. That might be a little disingenuous, but the odd thing is I have this belief that I don't think anything that's of use, like a meditative practice, should cost money to join. Versus if you go to join a meditation camp where they're providing a room and there's teachers and it's like a conference, that's different. They're providing a whole experience and a service for you. But the idea with transcendental meditation is just to join, to learn the practice, you have to pay. And I don't like that. I'm not a believer in that at all. Versus regular meditation is something you can learn completely independently. It's non-religious, it's non-spiritual. It's not a thing that has to conflict with any personal beliefs you have. And you can find, if you find good meditation teachers online or on YouTube who are very open about it, you can learn all the techniques for free. And thankfully, those who teach meditation properly, who care about it, believe that too. They understand that this should be shared with everyone, and it shouldn't be a thing that there's no secret formula to it. It's just a matter of knowing how to slowly condition your brain to be a little less negatively responsive to the world around you. And eventually, it just becomes sort of second nature. You take your meditation practices with you wherever you go, it's one of the phrases they use in that anxiety book, The Hope and Help for Your Nerves, that I really love. Is she talks about, she's like, it's not that This book itself is not going to save you. I'm giving you techniques so the cure that you have is your knowledge. You're not being cured by some miracle. You're not being cured by some guru who's pretending he knows everything. You're taking the cure with you because you're equipped with all this knowledge now about what anxiety is, what your body does, what a response looks like, and it intellectualizes the experience, because panic attacks can feel very nightmarish and demonic, not in like a spiritual sense, but in the sense that you can go through them feeling like, holy shit, I'm going to explode. And I don't understand it. I'm confused by the panic that I'm feeling, and that's even scarier because it's unknown. I don't know why it's happening or what's going to happen. And that's the tricky thing, is that you have to get away from that and go, I can learn all about it, and understanding it will actually make that experience easier, because then I know it's just my body doing a bunch of normal things that the human body has done for thousands of years. I appreciate you saying that, Katie, that I would make a good teacher. I'm glad to hear that. I'm very big and always have been on, like, if there's any tidbit of thing that I pick up on in life or I learned that was helpful to me, I always want to share it, because I never know what someone else is going through. I never know where they might need that bit of advice, to be able to point them in the right direction. And the kind of thing where I never want to pretend I'm an expert or a guru at much of anything, except maybe like photography and filmmaking and stuff that I actually have training in. But any helpful tips like these that I pick up for myself, that I've used for myself, they're not like me because I am some ascended, smarter person. It's just because I'm like, no, it's because I was an absolute wreck and I desperately had to figure out help to be able to not fall apart any longer as much as I was. So, and Belle, you said, I tried the breathing exercises, but sometimes it's hard to do. It is. Here's the thing too. Breathing exercises, this was another learning curve for me, because you're told a lot. When you have anxiety, you need to do your breathing exercises to calm down as fast as possible. I think that's not true at all, weirdly. You don't, because again, you're fighting something you can't actually win against, which is your own body. So sometimes if your heart's racing and you're like, I'm going to slow down my heart rate. And I will tell you, I had this exact situation happen to me a couple years ago on one of my worst panic attacks, where I had my Fitbit on and I was just sitting down on my couch. I checked and my heart rate was 125. But I was like, okay, I've been studying a little bit of meditation, and I had a therapist at the time who was just like, well, you just gotta basically stay calm, man. You just gotta, have you tried breathing? And they had like no helpful techniques. So, but I was like listening to them. I was like, okay, I just gotta calm down. I can do it. I can do it. I can fight it. I can fight it so hard. So I sat there and I did deep breathing for like 3 or 4 minutes. And the problem is, in the back of your head, you can feel that it's not always working. Like, you can feel, you're like, my heart's still going kind of fast, and the breathing was supposed to have fixed it by now. And so the problem was, then I actually felt worse afterwards, because I stopped doing the breathing exercise and I was like, okay, maybe it worked. And I checked my heart rate and it was at 135. And then what happened was, then I was like, oh my God, I can't, there's nothing I can do. I'm so fucked. I'm so bad off. My panic is never going to stop. It's going to be like this for hours. So then what happened? Then, of course, because the breathing exercises didn't work for a thing they're not meant actually to work for, my heart rate went up to 150. And I started I was lying on the floor with my heart rate going to 150, losing my brain, just absolutely through the roof. I felt like I was going to die there on the spot, on the floor, on the tile in my house. So that was when I knew I needed to find another method. So here's the thing too, it's funny, is breathing exercises, in my opinion, my completely unprofessional, just personal anecdote experience, breathing exercises are the best to do when you're not having a panic attack regularly at points throughout the day. Because when you do them when you're calm, it actually is a good thing, because then it kind of takes, you're not waiting until the emergency lights are on. You know what I mean? It's like you're pulling the fuse out before the thing can light on fire at all. You're going, okay, I'm waking up in the morning. I feel a little all over the place, maybe a little bit anxious, a little worried. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to breathe now. I'm going to settle in now before it gets worse. And then you do that progressively, in combination with the fact that if a panic attack does knock on your door and hit you, you don't fight it. You let it run its course. You try not to focus on it as much as possible without pretending it's not there. You don't lie to yourself, but you don't fixate on it. And that's the main distinction, which again, this is much easier said than done. It took me months to learn this stuff initially, and it took several more months before I really was committed enough to really tell myself that no matter what, I'm actually not going to run from these feelings anymore. I'm going to not cancel plans. I'm going to go places and do things. But it took a while. It took a good few months. And that's another thing in that book that I mentioned that she says it's very honest. A lot of books you'll find on anxiety make a lot of promises. Stop your anxiety in 2 weeks. Stop it after this one special lesson, whatever. And the Claire Weeks book, she's very honest, and she says the one calculation that many practitioners and doctors and therapists don't factor in, and patients as well, is time. Just like anything, like if you had a broken leg that needed to repair, it wouldn't, if some guru was telling you, well, do it my way, your leg's gonna heal in 2 weeks. But the reality is any good doctor is gonna go, hey, it's gonna heal about whatever it is, 6 weeks. It's gonna be a month and a half, and it's up to you to take care of yourself over that length of time, because it can make it worse or it can make it better. You can make the healing process smoother, or you can push yourself and not do things in a productive way, and you'll actually make the healing process worse, and it'll heal wrong, and it'll actually cause you more pain in the long term. So for me, panic attacks are kind of like that. Like, I had to tell myself, this is gonna take however long it takes. I can't give it a set timeline, but I keep doing the process no matter what I feel. I'm going to have good days. I'm going to have bad days. And that was the weird thing, was it took a while, and it wasn't like I had one day where I suddenly felt better, but I had one day where I remember, like a couple years ago, where I got to the end of the day and I was kind of like, hey, I didn't really think about my panic once. And that alone was a huge amount of progress, because I was like, okay, the mere fact that I didn't think about it, not because I was avoiding it, but just because I was going about my day as I normally would, that the anxiety didn't really crop up that much, was a huge release. Because then that meant that my subconscious brain, that side of me that I can't control, was getting the picture. It was starting to actually get on board, and those alarm bells were getting less sensitive, and I could rely on my subconscious, my nervous system, to let me breathe a little bit and not have to stress about it all the time. So anyway, I'm circling around kind of the same things in so many words. Brevity's never been one of my strong suits in speaking, but anyway, though, just to say that's some of the experience I had dealing with that, because it was brutalizing my life for a long time, many, many months. So I always want to share, because I know currently, it's like an all-time high level of anxiety that the average person deals with, which is no surprise. Life is horribly stressful, and the world around us is full of a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. You have the things going on in Gaza. You have, the genocide there. You have domestic things. You have, anti-LGBT behavior happening in America in particular. Like, there's a lot of things in the world that are hard to set aside, because they are actual issues and they're serious. So I don't blame anyone for the fact that they carry a lot of worry with them. So that's another reason why I think more than ever, having some tools in your pocket to be able to process your anxiety and not pretend it's not there, not just ignore it, is a good thing. It's something we all need to be doing. If I could make everyone read that anxiety book and learn just basic meditation. You don't have to meditate for 3 hours a day. 10 minutes or whatever can go a long way. But I think it was like all of us would do better and feel better. Not because it's going to like heal everything in the world. It's not some magic remedy or anything, but because it would help us at least get through the day-to-day and feel like we're more equipped to get through it without feeling so alone in it, which can make the stress so much worse, Loneliness is a real bitch when it comes to amplifying if you do have anxiety. Because not only do you have the anxiety, but you feel like you're the only one who has it in the world. And that isolation can make it feel 10 times worse, because then you don't know where to start, because you feel like it's a you problem, not a collective stress that many of us are all going through most of the days, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see here. Let's put this little river right there. Okay. Let's drop one in there. Train car can go there. Another one goes there. And then... the trees don't really fit in that spot, though. Let's put it over here. Water, you go there. River, you go there. Need more houses over by here. Oh, man. Ugh. Look at that here. Another one here. Alright, let's see. These houses should go here. That's fine. I'm actually playing kind of decent on this round. I probably would have signed off on the live stream by now if I wasn't kind of playing well at this silly game. Alright, let's see. Alright, you go there. Little body of water can connect this right here. This here. Put the trees over here. Okay. Let's see. Maybe there, so I can expand the forest on this side. Get the train track going a little farther over here. That'd be nice. And maybe I'll put it over here to continue on that side. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that the videos and some of the stuff that I make have been helpful for you. You know, it's funny because I think, you know, making content and making stuff online is, like, on one side of things, I never want to feel like it's too important because like, let's be real, like, content and making content in the scheme of, like, a world where people are helping starving people in other countries and helping rescue, you know, kids and fight fires and do all this kind of stuff, like, making content is not important on a global scale in that sense. But I do like knowing that it can be a help on a smaller scale, you know, for people like yourself where you're just kind of going through it. You know, sometimes we're just going through bad times, bad months. And I think a lot of times, you know, there are people who look down on the idea of finding some sort of solace in someone online. Because it's a thing where it's like, I don't pretend like I'm just making stuff to hopefully give people a little respite from the stress of what life brings. You know, I think some people find that weird, but I'm like, it's kind of how we humans are wired, you know? It's the way back in the day, it's if you were lonely or you were isolated, you'd read books, you know? If you were doing that, you might play music, you might, whatever it is, you know? It's like humans have always been, we've always wanted distractions that bring us some sort of joy, take us away from whatever we're going through when real life gets to be too big, if that makes sense, you know? So I very much understand that. So I'm just saying, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad it's been helpful. The big reason why I do it is just because, not because I'm qualified to help anyone, because I'm a mess myself, but because, you know, if there is anyone that it does provide any comfort to or help to or just gives you a smile on a day where things might otherwise be complete shit, you know, then that makes it worth it. Oh, cool, look, we got the little central water area. These are cool because these can connect trains and boats. They can be like a central hub to continue a bunch of different kind of stuff. That's cool. Got 23 tiles left. When I run out of tiles, that's going to be the end of the stream, so we'll see. I've already lasted longer than I thought, though. All right, I can add houses to this one to get a little bonus. I need to add exactly one house to that one. For it to work, okay. Okay, I can add that there. The little train car can get a boost here. This can drop in right there. And then... Let's see. Where do I put this one that makes any sense at all? Maybe... There's like no good spot for this one. That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes the pieces just don't fit. And that's okay. Yeah, it's games like a Bob Ross lesson in that you just kind of like let things go. Sometimes the little tiles don't fit together and there ain't nothing you can do about it. All right. House over here. Maybe I could... Maybe here. Or maybe... No, I just don't want to fit nowhere. That's fine. I can always drop it off on the side here. Do that. Okay. Drop that there. More houses. That's good. I can connect them to here. More woods. This area needs more forest. And this area needs more water. I've only got 12 tiles left, so we might we might be end of the line here pretty soon, but that's okay. It's also one of the games I like because losing doesn't feel like losing. It just kind of feels like you got through one attempt and you need to move on. Oh, here, I might get some more tiles, so I'll complete this waterway, and that adds bonus tiles for completing these little mini missions. All right. Might not be as bad as I thought. All right, this needs more houses. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, well, I can connect it to this little group of houses over here. Make a nice little village for everybody. And the trees, I don't think I'm going to get enough trees in time to... This one wants 103, so I don't think I'm going to get enough trees in time. Oh, this might work, though. Here, let's see. Oh, yeah, I got some bonus tiles for that. Hold on, we might be around a few minutes longer. If things are going okay. This one needs 27 houses. Oh, I can drop it here, and that'll complete the requirement for this one. Hold on. We might be back. This one needs 9. This one needs a few more than that. Let's put some houses over there. You over here. This is good. I'm reaching a flow state playing this silly little game. Okay. Connect the houses there. Add some more to the waterways over here. Tag that on right there. Add a little train. I need more of the little houses, though. That's what I'm running low on to make this map go further. I've been so focused on these tiles I didn't even look over at the chat. Everyone's chatting. It's hard being the favorite. What do you say? I'm definitely going to stick around to the end of the stream. This has been fun to wake up to. Calm vibes, some casual legends, and panic attacks and anxiety. Thanks, Tom. Stay awesome. Hey, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You know, this is a weird one. You know, it's like I turned on all the lights at the bar and there were a few regulars still sticking around to hang out for a little while. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Okay. So I'm glad it was something calm to be able to... it's funny. It's absolutely the total end of my day, so I'm glad something for you to wake up to and enjoy. Where do I put this house? Oh, this is one of the ones... This one needs exactly 12 houses, so I can't connect it to a big clump of houses, otherwise it won't work correctly. So I'll drop it here. Continue the water off here so we have room to grow. Okay. This one... Oh, hold on. This one needs one single house, and that'll do it. There's more points right there. Fuck yeah. Titan Joy, hi, how's it going? This wasn't meant to be a real stream, but I I just settled in, so I figured I might as well play for a little bit and let people hang out. I'm going to be done in a few minutes here, but hey, while I'm here, feel free to hang out. We're playing this cozy little tile game that I like to do when I'm in the mood to relax and just, de-stress, wind down for a little bit. It's cozy music, calm gameplay, nothing too stressful here. Let's put that there. Okay. We need to add more houses over here. This needs... Oh, we could drop it here. This one needs the 5 houses, and this should do it. Let's see if we can make it connect properly. Yeah, there it goes. All right. That means we can also grow the forest spot here. Nice, nice. All right, more trees over here. Right there. More trees there. This needs to be connected to a big waterway, which we've got right over here. Right there. Oh yeah, we're kind of cooking right now. All right, let's see. We need more houses or more water? More water first, because we've got a bunch of loose water sections over here. You there. Train car. Connect that right there. House over here. Connect that. More train car that way. Okay. And thankfully, yeah, it seems like whatever settings I did for this, I'll just leave alone, because it seems like this actually worked quite smoothly without a bunch of issues, so great. Alright, let's see. Drop that in there. Add some more houses. We're kind of making less of a community and more of a giant conga line of houses over here, which is... it's fine. And this should be the last little water one we need to connect this. Yes. Nice, 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 nice. This one needs more trees. Gotta make sure to leave one spot open so we can keep growing the trees without blocking things off too badly. Fill in some of these gaps here. Oh, there's a big clump of trees. We can use that to keep it growing. You go there. You go there. This little connected waterway can go here. This one goes here. More trees over there. Nice. There we go. This is like a game that the Lorax would play, where he just gets to plant trees all day, and no one's damaging anything. Alright. End the train track there. Like, oh my god. Oh my god, this stream is never gonna end because I'm doing too good at the... This game is called Dorfromantik, is what it's called. I want to say it's like a Swedish game? I think it was a little indie game. I want to say it might have even been made by like students. It was like a really small team that made it, but thank you, Belle. The map is actually looking kind of nice. It's like kind of a crazy mix of stuff as far as all the different types of tiles, but hey, it's not looking too bad. Let's see. Okay, this one needs houses. That's fine. We can connect it to here. The trees need more room to grow over here. And then, oh, we got a little windmill. These are cute. Now you go there. Need more houses. It's fun too because the stuff you unlock in this game, because of course it's not like meant to be a stressful game at all, but you can unlock different seasons. So when you play, like this will all be wintry or fall or have different colors. So even like the unlockable stuff is like a challenge that's like not a stress to do. Let's drop this one wherever. Fill in some of these areas of the map. Let's see. Is this little plot of houses? Yeah. We need more houses over here, I think. So, let's drop that one there. And then... oh, this one needs exactly 6 train cars. Okay. Okay. So, let's go ahead and... let's drop another house there. Some more of our little gold bases. Over here. Do I have a good spot for this little stretch of forest? I might. There we go. That's a good spot. Oh, look, we got our first little cute addition. You get, after you build enough, they start getting you little vehicles, little trains and stuff to populate it so it feels more alive, which is very adorable. All right, more. Okay. More houses. I'm playing a little bit more loose with it now because I've got a bunch of tiles. I'm actually not running low on any of them right now. All right, houses. There we go. Complete that one. Complete that one. Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's keep adding more houses to this little village over here. It's actually becoming like kind of a nice little city that I didn't plan. More water over there. Train. I need this train car to go a little further. And we need 21 houses. Oh, we need exactly 21 houses. This is going to be a little trickier. Let me see if there's any existing little clumps of houses I could, like, connect it to. Oh, maybe these ones over here. Okay, more houses over here. Nice. Oh, and here, these little things pop up. These are like little... You can uncover special tiles if you build towards them, which is kind of fun. And then, yeah, if you unlock it, you get like new little houses and stuff and buildings that'll start to become part of your maps for future games. Oh, this is good. This will be the last little waterway for this spot. Okay, need more houses again over here. Now we have too many houses. That's fine. Plug these ones in over here. They'll be happy. Yeah, this little clump of houses over here is getting picky. They need exactly 3 more for this community to be satisfied. 1 more there. 1 more there. Blank tile can go wherever. Another little lonely house by itself. Another little train car for there. And there's too many houses, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Another one there. That's good. Oh, here we go. 1 more house. Oh, here we go. Nice. Yeah, then extend the little forest out that way. And this town needs 115 of the gold tiles. I can probably do that. Ah, shoot. Put this in the wrong spot. That's okay. That's okay. It's late. This stream wasn't even supposed to be happening right now. I already did my stream for the day. This is a bonus stream. Who cares what happens? Okay. Oh, nice. There we go. Katie, thank you. All right, appreciate that. I will have a good night. You try to do the same, all right? Try to get some rest. I'm sure you need it. If you've been having a little bit of a hard month, then it can sometimes be the thing you don't get any of, which is enough sleep to be able to keep your body in check, to be able to kind of process the stuff you're dealing with. So try to get some good rest. I'm sure you need it, all right? See you on the next stream, next video, whatever we get up to, all right? Now we're down to 9 tiles. All right, this is probably going to be end of the road here unless I get some really, really good selection coming through here. That's okay, though. I can add 1 more here, though. Go a little bit further. Okay, 1 there. One there. One there. All right, so 7 tiles left. Let's see. Let's see if we can pull this off. All right, I could add 1 tile here, 1 last one here to connect these 2 sections of the map. Nice. Trees over there. There's water there. Oh, these trees, I need to connect them, because I'm like, these... If I can get these 2 sections of trees to connect, it'd actually be worth a lot of points. You go there. 4 tiles left. I don't know if we're gonna make it. Nah. It's been a good run, laddies. It's been a good run. That's funny, like, just now, for the first time this whole time, YouTube's telling me that the stream quality is like, compromised, which I guess that's a good sign. That means it did still run for over an hour without having glitches, so that is a significant improvement. So, alright. Alright, where do I put these last 2 to finish up my little kingdom? Let's put 1 over here on the edge of this map. And the last little one, we'll place this tiny little house. These will be our last villagers that get to join the kingdom. Right here. These cozy little 2 right there. So, and that's the game. As you can see, it's like, it's a fun game because it's like, losing doesn't really feel like losing. It feels like, okay, that's my little puzzle done. Let's all try it again some other time, and it'll be a puzzle on another day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is one that I used to play a lot because, like, I can just play a round of it at the end of the day, and I was able to sleep afterwards pretty easy because my, you know, my whole subconscious and my nervous system was quieted down nicely by this game. So pretty looking good though. Yeah, and you can also, one thing I like is if you're in creative mode, you can even continue the game and just get an unlimited stack of tiles. So if you really like a map that you made, you thought was really cute, you can keep building it if you want to, just for the fun of it. So, anyway, though, thank you all for being here for this fake stream that ended up being kind of a real stream. So, you know, it's kind of fun being able to hang out and just chill with y'all for a little while, even if it was unexpected and kind of a lower key vibe for the evening. It also legitimately, like, this was helpful to me because now I can go through the Twitch analytics log, because on my end they give me like a log of any errors or glitches or any stream issues that happen. So I can basically check, like, I can check the audio quality, the video quality, I can check the YouTube after video, the VOD, like the VOD on Twitch, and I can check all my log files to see if there were any issues. But it looks like it was working okay. Like, it seems like the bitrate for it is like a little lower than I would have preferred for the visual quality, but at least clear enough for you guys to be able to see it without it being a stuttery mess. And that's the main thing, is I'd rather it not have the most pristine visual streaming quality if it means it's not buffering all the time and is actually playable for the majority of people watching. So, but anyway, though, appreciate y'all being here, for dropping in for this not a live stream. I know it ran late and ran longer than I expected, but it also was very helpful for me to figure things out. So hopefully in the future now, I can make both platforms work consistently, because I want to continue live streaming on a weekly basis now, and I want to use both platforms as much as possible for everyone to be able to pick whatever they prefer to use. So anyway, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Get some rest. If it's late where you are, even if it's not late where you are, maybe you need a nap. I don't know. You know, I'm a big proponent of midday naps. So hey, if it's an afternoon somewhere and you got a little time, go knock out for 45 minutes. I promise you'll probably feel better. But like, hey, fun fact, I'll give you a little more health stuff that I learned when I was going through my panic disorder and I was researching endlessly. If you're going to take a nap, do a nap that's either 35 minutes in total, meaning you settle down, you set an alarm for maybe 25 minutes. That way you have a little bit of wind down time, 25 minutes to actually try to sleep, then 5 minutes to wake back up, because in that span of time, you won't get into deep sleep. That means when you wake up, you won't have the sleep inertia and feel like shit. If you have a sleep for 60 minutes, you will wake up and you will feel like shit. Don't nap for a flat hour, because 60 minutes is right when you start to hit the deep phase of your sleep. And when you wake up, you'll feel really groggy and your brain will not be ready to process information yet Or if you've got enough time, do a nap for 90 minutes. 90 minutes is a full sleep cycle going through your REM cycle, going through all the layers that your body needs, and you'll actually wake up feeling like you had a small version of a full night of sleep after the 90 minutes. So there's your little tidbit from someone who at one point went several months sleeping 3 hours a night to the point where at one point I had a migraine and that left half of my face numb for 2 weeks. That was how bad, talking about like the panic disorder and the anxiety. It was so bad that I was literally having like half of my face went numb for a few weeks, and I had headaches night and day for weeks on end because I couldn't sleep. So take it from someone who went through the worst of it. These tips can be helpful, all right? So use them well and use them to make your day-to-day a little bit easier. So you hopefully never have to feel like I did during those points in time. So anyway, all right, have a good night, everyone. Appreciate you all being here. I'll see y'all next time. I'll probably do my next stream on probably on like Tuesday. I might do one on Monday night if I'm feeling up to it, if I don't have too much editing to get done. But most likely Tuesday, I'll probably try to plan one, at least for a little bit. It'll depend how busy my week is looking for the next week. So anyway, see you guys later. Bye.